4, 3. YouTube, what is going on? Gino Bonino here. Hope everyone's having a nice end of summer. It's been a hot one. I kind of enjoy it, to be honest with you, but that's just me. It's been an interesting comic book summer for sure. We've had a couple really dynamite movies. Spider-Man and the Avengers was just incredible. Almost sad to see it go. I mean, that, if you think about it, that entails a big chunk of our lives. The whole MCU kind of playing out. But it went out in an interesting way. Again, we'll see who stays dead and all that kind of stuff. You know how that goes. In regards to what's going on right now, it is, I think, the 23rd of August. And the Disney, I think D23 or whatever is going on right now. Forgot the exact name of it. But basically the Disney / Marvel convention that they have every year is going on, where they announce new theme park stuff and where they announce new movies and all that. And of course the big news is all of the Marvel projects which are in the pipe. Interesting, they just announced She-Hulk and Moon Knight and whatnot, and I know that's been very interesting for people because they've been, you know, looking forward to that. In regards to also big news has been on again, off again, will he or won't he, Spider-Man MCU business. My own personal thoughts on this, real quick, for what it's worth, is money talks and BS walks, and I have a feeling that what will eventually happen is they will work it out. I think it has been established now well enough that Spider-Man does better in the MCU. I think Sony can sit back. I think it's just a question of dollars, to be completely honest with you. It has nothing to do. I know that they kind of put a little bit of a gag on the Spider-Man actor, and I'm completely brain farting now, Tom Holland. And I think the reason being they didn't want him, you know, he kind of made a bit of a stink about it and unfollowed Sony. Then all of a sudden, he got a little bit, his tune changed a little bit. So I think they kind of gave him a stern talking to and told him, hey, you got to kind of keep on the sidelines on this and let us do the business. So I kind of think that's what's going on. I wouldn't read too much into it. But again, it may flip-flop 5 times, 6 times in the next year. I wouldn't doubt it. Bottom line, like I said, money is what's going to do the talking, and I have a feeling that they'll work it out. I think it works better for both Sony and Marvel if they kind of work together. I also hope, and I really do hope, that they bring the Venom into the MCU along with Spider-Man. If they can work things out to that degree, I think that Venom works better as a character in the Spider-Man universe, just simply because that's how he got his start. As we know, and although Venom was fine, I just think that had it been written a little bit better and it been tightened up a little bit better, it could have been just an absolutely drop-dead amazing movie. I thought it was good, it was entertaining, but it didn't knock me on my feet like some of the Marvel movies do. And again, I'm not trying to be a Marvel fanboy. I think it's got its problems too. A lot of the movies are very similar in tone and kind of plot line, if you will. But I think that could be said with comics across the board. I mean, bottom line is typically the good guy wins, the bad guy's defeated. I think what Marvel does a good job is they make the bad guy interesting. They kind of give him they put you in a bit of a moral quandary where you wonder, okay, is maybe what he's fighting for a good thing? And you can almost empathize and understand where he's coming from. But nonetheless, I think that Sony and Marvel will work it out. Also in news, Alfred got his neck snapped. I hope I'm not spoiling this for anybody. And once again, if you bought that comic book on the shelf, good for you. But I wouldn't go around paying a ton of money for it, just simply because we know what happens to dead people in comic books. They can't earn any money if they're dead, buddy. So what they end up doing is they either come up with a way to say that wasn't them, it was a projection, or it was somebody that was the Riddler, or somebody acting like Alfred, or they come back to life by mysticism or magic or something like that, and then I can see Alfred taking a dip in the Lazarus pit, or whatever you want to call it. So we'll see. But again, it was interesting. Tom King, it looks like, is kind of shaking things up. I know it caught some people Some people think it's a desperation move to get readers. DC isn't doing all that well right now. Some think that it was, good, and it's just the kind of the tip of the iceberg as far as what he's going to do in the next few issues as he finishes his run on the book. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so let's do this. I have had these boxes here for a while. These are CGC boxes. They were here. Actually, I've been gone. I went on a little mini vacation, went back to my roots where I grew up, and did a little bit of comic book hunting there. It was kind of cool hunting in other people's backyards. But anyway, that's another video for another time. I found a couple very cool things. But these came actually just before I left, and to be honest with you, I didn't have a chance to open them. I should have, but I kind of wanted to do it right, and I also, didn't want to get distracted. So what I had was 2 boxes from CGC. You got your big one, and then you got the super big one. I've never seen a box this big from CGC. I'm not exactly sure what's in here. We're going to find out, and we'll do an opening right now. What I think, I had I've had 3 different shippings from CGC. I think these are modern books, and I think they might also be some Silver Age stuff like Spider-Man 50, Submariner 1, etc. However, I'm not 100% sure, like I mentioned. Okay. All right. Let's put them over here. So the first book is Ray number 3, 9.8. Cool. This is a pretty rare book, actually. It's pretty, there's not a whole ton of them out there. And that's why it's a good one to have, I think, graded, but we'll see. Another one is Ray 3. Check it out. 9.8. White pages, of course. Hopefully you don't have off-white with a modern book. Spawn 185. 9.6. And Eternal Warrior number 4, First Bloodshot, 9.8. Nice book. Rye number 3, another one, 9.6. By the way, I'm leaving the plastic in here. It's hard to show books with the plastic on it. Rye number 4, 9.8. Cool. I don't know if you've seen the back of the books. Another one, but this one 9.6, Rye 4. Web of Venom, Carnage Born, number 1. This was the Comic Mint swipe of, I believe, ASM 317, 316, 317. The case here being this is Venom and that's Spidey. And 9.6. Nice book. Really dig that cover. I'm not sure who does it. I want to say Clayton Crane, but I'm not 100% positive. But anyway, very cool, kind of a photorealistic looking cover. Bloodshot numero 1 with the first chromium cover in comics, 9.8. Another Eternal Warrior, 9.8. Another Eternal Warrior, 9.8. This is a significant book, the Eternal Warrior 4. It's the first, I think, cameo of Bloodshot. Maybe first full appearance, I'm not positive. But I do know he goes on to do his own book in, obviously, Rye. And then 9.6, the same thing. So that's a good box, man. I can't complain. Very psyched for that. It looks so far like it's been modern books. I'm guessing that's the direction we're going here. Where is, oh. Hang on. Hang on. Another one. 9/8. Bloodshot #1. Beautiful cover, man. I really love that chromium. I know it was really, it's been overdone. But it was really kind of a cool thing back in the day. I don't see my receipt. I'm thinking maybe it's in the other box. Next box. And this is the monster. Look at that. It's this huge. Never seen one that big. Receipts. Okay, and what have we here? Let's see. Spider-Man 361 9/6 newsstand version. If you've noticed these, I mean, it's just terrible. Not terrible, but they really miswrap the hell out of these. 361 has some pretty well-known manufacturing flaws. One of them is this. If you'll notice, you'll see a whole bunch of them with the miswrap. You'll either see usually orange along the spine. Very typical. Again, it was something that they were mass producing, and so if you see one without that, that's a good one to hang on to. Now, I've heard both ways. I've heard that the companies will either ding you for that or will not. My opinion is that's why it's a 9/6, not a 9/8. But again, that's just me. I think it really depends on who your grader is. Some of them, I think, let it slide. Some don't. Another thing you'll notice is there typically will be little tears, grabber tears down here, usually right by Carnage's leg. And very typical stuff. Again, if it was something that you would have done to the comic book, it would be, grade maybe a 7.0, but if it's something that happens in manufacturing, they tend to let it slide a little bit. But again, check yours if you have 361s to see if you have one that's perfectly wrapped and doesn't have any tears here at the bottom. You've got a nice book, so definitely I would put that off to the side. I think I've talked about this. I bought a bunch of these back in the 90s. And we just lucked into it. I went to a drugstore and there was a whole stack of them. I grabbed them thinking that the character would get big, because what happened is I ordered them from Diamond and Diamond shorted me. I think I ordered like a dozen and they sent me 2 because they put a limit on it after I ordered. So just for the heck of it, I was again at a mom and pop drugstore and found an entire stack of them. I don't know if, I'm guessing what happened, it was the distributor's last stop of the day, and he had this bunch of comics, and he just said to heck with them to put them up on the shelf, because normally they carry 2 or 3 copies of them, of any given book, but there was literally like 37 copies, so I grabbed them. I mean, I hate to, again, be, but I kind of thought, hey, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, so I grabbed it. But anyway, that's a newsstand version. And again, it's I didn't notice any tears on that one, but it is miswrapped terribly. The other thing I've got is a Teen Titans #12, first Batman Who Laughs. I've got a couple of these. One is, I've got the foil cover, which was basically the second printing. Doesn't go for very much right now. That may change, but 9/6. Happy with that. I bought that copy at a convention as a near mint book. I didn't promise 9/8, so, and I've got a few of these. Spawn #1, 9/8. Again, jury's out on Spawn. I still believe in it. I believe in the character. I believe in Todd McFarlane. I think that he's going to try to make this happen. He's been running into a bunch of issues trying to get the movie made. He's probably going to end up losing his star if he doesn't do it soon. But I'm kind of hoping, I have a feeling that again, once again, money talks, money is out there. Comic book movies are doing really well right now. I have a feeling that Todd is going to figure out a way to get his movie made, whether he funds it with some stars, money, or he does a Kickstarter, whatever. It's hard to say, but I know that's kind of where we're at right now. I know the big problem is he wants to make a dark movie, he kind of wants to do it his way, which is the kind of roadmap for Todd McFarlane. He likes doing stuff his way, good or bad. And I have a feeling that that's causing a rift. The studios obviously want to be in control, and Todd wants to be in control, and I have a feeling that he's going to soften a little bit, and they'll figure out a way to make this. So that's my rant on Spawn. Still think it's a good book to buy. Here's another one, 9.8. Another one, 9.8. And if you've ever read the back of these, it's hilarious. Look at the prices for some of these books. This was, if you've ever looked back in old Overstreets and whatnot, it's kind of crazy what you'll find. Hulk 181s for $25, etc. 9.8. Another one. Obviously, if I'm not going to keep all of these, but 9.6. Another one, 9.6. Most of these books I pressed myself. They weren't really in rough shape, but they just needed a little, they've been riding around in boxes. They've ridden in moving vans going from Wisconsin to Los Angeles to the East Coast, and so they put on many, many miles, and they bounce around in boxes and whatnot, so some of them just needed a little, just a little bit of a refresher press, if you will, so nothing real major. Spider-Man 365, first, I guess, preview appearance of Spider-Man 2099. I kind of got this in anticipation of the next Spider-Verse movie. I'm specking, that Spider-Man will be in it, 2099. So if so, I'm ready. I've got a few of these. Another one, 9.8. Oh, and here's my foil cover, 9.8 of Teen Titans 12. You can tell by the back. Ew, there's fingerprints all that. Anyway, foil 9.8. I wish it was the other way around. I wish the regular would have got the 9.8 and the foil got the 9.6, but oh well. Avengers 684, first Immortal Hulk, 9.8. Another 365, 9.8. Looks like these are all kind of repeats. Spawn 198. 98. 98. 98. Another 365, 98. And the last book, no, two more left. Another 684, 98. And the last book is another 361, First Carnage, full, 9.6. This is the direct version, not the newsstand. A little bit better. Actually, no. Wrapping is still, look at, now it's just the opposite. Instead of it being right there, you can see the orange. That shouldn't be there. The orange should be is the back color. So that should be right on the seam, and it should be folded a little bit better. Again, wrapped better. Just notorious problem. This one does not have any cuts or grabber towards on the bottom. Again, if you check right there on your copies, you'll see whether it has it or not. Again, and I've been told two things. I've been told that CGC will ding you a 0.2 grade, which is what I'm thinking. The miswrap is kind of why this is a 9.6 and not a 9.8. And I've heard other people saying they've got miswrapped and they've got the little rips down at the bottom and they still get 9.8. So again, I've heard both stories. I really think it has to do with who your grader is and who ends up putting them in there. Should be consistent, you would think, but again, it's a human-run business, so you're going to have preferences. Just like umpires that call ball and strikes in baseball games. You know, some of them have a different strike zone. Kind of the same thing with grading. So I guess it's just one of those things we have to deal with. And that is it, my friends. Thanks for watching. A really good. I'm very excited for this this load of books. Now I got to try to get some of my money back. It's not cheap to get this stuff graded. But again, I knew I had good books. If you've got 9.8 sitting in boxes and you're thinking of at all about whether you're going to sell them, and I'm going to sell to obviously to reinvest in more books. If you've watched anything about my channel, you know that I'm buying stuff all the time. I like to, my big thing is Silver Age. I kind of like to collect that just because it's what I remember being in awe of when I was young, looking at that stuff up on the wall and just, you know, loving it. Also the art, you know, you just kind of get, and I know a lot of younger collectors actually look at 80s and 90s books and they feel that same way. So I think we all kind of carry that same thing with us. We remember certain things that were, most of the time it was wall books that were on the wall when we were kids. There was just something about walking into a comic shop, looking up on the wall and seeing the stuff, and then seeing price tags that were all at the time seemed pretty crazy, and just being in you know, kind of in awe of those books. So that's sort of where, you know, I go with my collecting. But anyway, what I was saying is I'm probably going to be flipping some of these, so keep an eye on them. I'll keep some for myself and get rid of others. But if you do have 9.8 sitting in boxes, it's completely a personal choice. Obviously, if you want to, you know, there's arguments to be made whether you should encase something that's meant to be read in plastic. It certainly makes it difficult to read. But on the other hand, it also protects it, and it keeps, you know, it from getting dinged and right. I've had many things that have needed just a little pressing from riding around in boxes and, you know, getting just little bits of, not damage, but just, you know, getting a little out of whack from that. So nice thing about this is, although it won't protect it from, you know, harsh like dropping and whatnot, it protects it just from your casual handling. So that's kind of the spiel for why to get stuff graded. On the other hand, you can also read comic books digitally. You can also get the true versions, you know what I'm thinking, the dollar versions or the facsimiles. So I guess, you know, again, arguments can be made either way. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much. If you like what you saw, please leave a like down below. Any comments are welcome. I would love to hear from you. Hopefully the microphone has picked up things a little clearer. I do have the desk mic, but again, I tend to bump into it with plastic stuff. So I decided to go this route. Hopefully the complaint I get often is it's hard for folks to hear. So hopefully this is a little better. Thanks again, guys. I will talk to you later. It's Gino Bonino. Keep collecting, happy hunting, and bye for now. Peace.